Gonna do a mini game session here. Mini game. Probably ain't gonna stay on too long. It's already 6 a.m. in the morning. 6 in the morning. Boy, I worked on my demo for a couple hours, which I've been posting on Instagram. I don't understand why it's so hot in this room this morning. The house is fine. It's probably going to be too cool for the air conditioner. Did I hear it clicking? Although I didn't turn it all the way around anyway. Okay, let's go into the... I got the wrong thing there. Let's go into the solo. Like I said, I'm only going to be on a few minutes. I want to make some changes to her, so I'll take her to the stove. I'll get her a new costume here in a minute. Take her to the hair joint. I'm going to make a few changes to her hair, not much. Not much.
You don't know me.
I don't hear from this dude right now. Check our messages. That was just for fun. Oh, I don't want to call nobody.
We paid $8 million for that fucking yacht.
Well, they're out and about today.
Come on.
Hey, there is one on its way to you now.
The NP assholes. NP assholes, by the way. Oh, I was watching that Beavis and Butthead. The episode where they were in the virtual reality and they thought they was in a game, but they was really in real life. Oh, look, the ambulance is coming. There it is. Look at it. Every cow I've ever come. I think I see her cow. Drive on. Where's her freaking cow? Look at mine still freaking ambulance.
¿Qué carajo? Damn it, man. You idiot! You think you're loco? Come on!
There's the UFO. How about just buying those stores? Everything will be okay. And it's alright. We're going to the end of the line. At the end of the line. At the end of the line. Everything will work out fine. Well, it's alright. We're going to the end of the line. Or run up here. Maybe it was up this way. Satisfied.
All you gotta do is lay off the car.
For some reason, other words ain't coming to me in full.
Trying the isolation tip.
It must not be anywhere near here. Oh, let us try to get an take cab over here. Maybe we can.
The cab has been dispatched. It'll be with you soon.
Okay, there we go. Now we'll just wait on the cab. Oh, I see the store. Is that the store? The barber shop is somewhere close to the store. It's just above it. Oh, there it is! Never mind. We'll just let the taxi go. We will let the taxi go. That's what I was looking for.
Sid, I will take care of you, honey.
That's what I was looking for. Here's the freaking the hair stove.
There it is.
Oh, I forgot to change your color. I want the darker color. There we go. Fashion, turn to the left. Fashion, turn to the right. Fashion, we are the bourgeois and we're coming to town. Beep beep. Beep beep. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Fashion. Ba 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 ba. I don't want that. That's makeup. Ba 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 ba. Ooh da. Ba 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 ba. Fashion. Ba 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 ba. Fashion. Turn to the left. Fashion. Turn to the right. Ooh, we are the bourgeois and we're coming to town. Beep beep. Beep beep. Bom 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 bom. Do da. Fa 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 fa. Fashion. I don't know if anybody ever noticed this or not, but there's a song from Nirvana that went down 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 down. Bum 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 bum. It was on the Incesticide, and I can't think of its title, but I could hear the inspiration in that from Passion. You know, he loved David Bowie. And I don't know if anybody else ever noticed that or not, but I did. Indeed, I noticed that because I didn't really pay much. I'd heard Passion like when I was a little boy. I bought this David Bowie collection, and Passion was on there, and I thought, that's where Kurt got that at. I wish I could think of that title. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, boom, 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 boom. I got my Dennis bag. Boom, 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 boom. I got my Dennis bag. Boom. You can hear the inspiration in that. Na 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 na. Na na na. I wonder if anybody else ever noticed that. Boom, boom, boom. It was on the B side if you had the tape. Gonna get a bad boom, 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 boom. Let me look that up. Boom, 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 boom. But I could hear the inspiration in that. Because if you listen to that, boom, bum, 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 fa, 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 fa. Yeah, I could tell, Kurt, that was inspiration to Kurt. Because you can sort of hear it. Ba-bam, ba-bam, the minute it starts. Boom, 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 bum, 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 bum. This new album, man, it's going to be grungy. It won't be as good as Nirvana, but it'll be grungy.
Some days, I feel like I'm living in paradise.
You wanted the best? Well, they didn't show up. But what you got is Anthony Stone. That's what you'll be getting of me, but you'll be getting my former grunge. Bum, 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 bum. Wish I could remember that song. Bum, bum. I don't even know what it's saying, because I never could understand it. I got my dentist Bible. I got my dentist Bible. I don't even know what I'm saying there. Boom, 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 boom. Da 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 da, da 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 da. That's a simple da 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 da. Boom, 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 boom. Working 9 to 5. What a way to make a living. Better getting by. Gonna lose your head. 9 to 5. She's got the 9 to 5 out there. We're working 9 to 5. What a way to make a living. Better getting by. I love that movie. That was a funny movie, y'all. You know what I love more than anything? Like on the soap opera, Young and the Restless. I love it when Phyllis and Nikki team up, because it kind of reminds me of 9 to 5. Working 9 to 5. What a way to make. They're right now teaming up and taking on Diane. Betty, a little ditty about Jack and Diane. Nobody wants to see Jack back with Diane. I want to see Jack with Phyllis. A little ditty about Jack and Diane. 2 American kids growing up in the promised land. I know I'm jumping everywhere tonight. Ba-bow. Boom. Ba-bow. Boom. 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 Ba-bow. I'll do a little bit before I get off here. Working 9 to 5. What a way to make a living. Better getting by. Oh, she's got cops on. Gonna lose your head. 9 to 5. Working 9 to 5. Still in 9 to 5. What a way to make a living. Criminals getting by. There's no taking and forgiving. You'll lose your head. The GTA 9 to 5, yeah. The GTA 9 to 5. Criminal making a living. Better getting by. She still ain't forgiven. And you lose your head. And you sometimes get killed, but you get to come back in that video game. GTA 925. GTA 925. A gangster 925. Boom, 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 boom. Gangster 925. She's bad at making a living. Always doing that stick killing and stealing. That's making a parody. She's got the police on her booty. The first one's still on, I'm getting tired now. Boy, I slept a long time. What was it? Almost to 1. Probably it was after 1. Then we watched soap opera, and then I Took my last pills for the day. Only to get started again here today sometime later on with the morning pills. I got morning pills, I got afternoon pills, I got night pills. We're talking about medicine, of course. The pharma, the big pharma, blood pressure. Diabetes, stomach medicines, and then my regular supplements I take to boost my immune. We treated COVID with it too, by the way, by the doctor's instruction. That was what my doctor told us to take. And we ended up taking a little more than he subscribed because it wasn't working. I guess he was making that would probably work with the drugs, you know what I'm saying? But we had to increase it to get better. D3, zinc, C. Well, he didn't want me taking it. He didn't want us taking nothing else. He was scared it to hurt us. Then, of course, you had your Mucinex and,
Hello, this is Pegasus Lifestyle Management. We haven't heard from you for a while. We are still the #1 source of luxury and specialty transportation needs in Los Santos. We hope to keep your business. Goodbye.
running her criminal business, working 9 to 5. I wonder where their office is at. I don't remember where the freaking office is at. I ain't been there in a long time. See if I can find it. Working 9 to 5 with a criminal living, but she's barely getting by with the killing and the stealing. Where's that office? I don't remember where the freaking office is at. Boom, 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 boom. Wish I think what that song was titled. Beeswax. Boom, 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 boom. Boy, they wasn't nobody like Kurt Cobain. He didn't invent grunge though, like they go around saying. He's just the one who was the most creative. You see, I know a little bit about the grunge history. I know he didn't invent it. But boy, he was the most creative. He was more creative than a lot of rock stars. That's why he remains one of my favorites. And whether it was by conspiracy or whether he suicided, whether he was by conspiracy or he really did kill himself as they reported, it was still a loss to music. But you know, that's the problem with clinical depression. It is that bad. And he harmed the ones that he loved too. And I'm not even trying to criticize him or say anything, I'm just saying. But at the same time, he was sick. And he had a problem. Whether he did it himself or whether it was like the conspiracy theories say, it was still a tragedy to rock and roll. Most of the rock stars where they say, whoa, he was trying to kill metal. Well, yeah. But you know what really happened to metal? It started sucking. I mean, some of that stuff sucked. I'm going to be honest. Some of that stuff that was coming out back then, some of that stuff was garbage. Of course you weren't going to compete with a genius like Kurt Cobain that could go in there and turn us life woes into a song. You weren't going to be able to compete with that and that noise. And on Nevermind, they actually sort of crafted the noise and kind of glamorized it, but then he took it back with In Utero, and the record company couldn't handle that, and they went in there and started making their fucking changes to it. Made him mad and pissed him off, about to piss that guy off that worked with him. And he said he wouldn't never do an album on a record company again after that. I like some of them greats that worked with Nirvana and them, and I was actually looking at one of them back then when I was working on my first album. His charges wasn't much different than the other people that I worked with, but his problem is he wanted you to rent him a studio. You had to fly him out to wherever you was at if you was out of town. You wasn't in Seattle. And I thought, well, I can't work with him. Even though his rates were about around the same thing that I was working with other people, I didn't have the money for the studio time and stuff, you know. You know what I'm saying? So I just didn't even get involved in that. I didn't book him or anything. Boy, I would have loved to work with some of them people. I mean, I don't agree with them politically a lot of times, but I love that grunge scene. Well, I can't completely say I'm 100% against everything they speak, because some of that stuff, you know, treating people right and stuff, that's, I mean, I'm a disabled person, so I don't like it when people mistreat me. And I get a lot of that mistreatment. I mean, a lot of, go get a job, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm a conservative. I'm more conservative than a lot of them grunge people, but I agree with some of the points that they would make. Like Kurt Cobain, he was about not judging people based on looks. And he tried to look as, even though he was basically a pretty boy, he would try to be as grungy and dirty looking as he could, even though he would have, like if he had fixed up and stuff, he would have probably been one of the pretty boys. He could have been a pretty boy. He wasn't ugly. Some of us people were ugly out here, but he wasn't ugly. He probably thought he was. He might have felt it, because he didn't have a high self-esteem of himself anyway. But even Courtney Love was going on about how good he looked one day. And he would have been one of the pretty boys if he'd been pretty. But he chose not to be pretty because he wanted to represent the people that weren't pretty. Even though he was pretty, he wanted to be one of the people, because he must have felt it. He must have really felt bad with his clinical depression. So I agree with the grungers on a lot of stuff, but I get out with them on some things, like the gun control. And it's not that I want people to die. It's just that I know where it really leads. I mean, you can look at history. You can study history books. You know, like my Pearl Jam record that I always tell you I liked. I got it from the 10 Club. History never repeats. I tell myself before I go to sleep. It always repeats. There's good and bad uses for a gun. You can go in and blow up a lot of people, but you can also protect your people with it. You can protect yourself. Some boy did it the other night. Some 17-year-old boy. Some old burglar broke in on him. He got the gun and he saved himself. History never repeats. I tell myself before I go to sleep. So Eddie Vedder, if you ever hear me talking, I'm not talking against you, buddy. Y'all have sung a lot of things. Like your song about your father-in-law, it always kind of hits a note with me because I wasn't really that close. So now we wouldn't like fight, knock down, drag out fight. He didn't beat on me and stuff, but he would sometimes be mean to me in verbal. And we didn't get along too well. And I know people get mad at me for sometimes talking about it. But I've come to conclusion and put the past, the bad and the good, and I've weighed out the bad and the good. I did it over that year after he died. But I'm telling you, I couldn't sing that. I used to sing that all the time on karaoke. And after he died, I couldn't sing it. Rear view mirror. Rear view mirror, rear view mirror, rear view mirror. I don't hate none of you people. I don't 100% agree with some of your stances, but I don't totally disagree either. I take everything in context, you see. And then you got the bad people that you might not even want to show any respect to, and I get that too. I even get that with the Orange Man bad thing, them hating on Trump. They feel like Trump isn't a respectable person and they don't care to hate him. Well, I have my people that I'm like that as well. It ain't Trump, because I tend to want to see this country go a better route. But I have my people. They can be it's not a particular race, it's not a particular anything. It's how they act, how they treat. Well, let's just put it this way. You're good to me, I'll be good to you. You bad to me, I'll be bad to you. And I know as the Christian, we're supposed to be good to the ones that are hateful to us, and because he even addressed that. He said, like, if you only love your relatives and the people you like, what a reward. Maybe I just don't want a reward from it. You know what I'm saying? That's the way I look at it. When it comes to some people, I just don't care whether I get a reward or not for it. And I may feel differently, and I may be crying in heaven. Who knows? But there's just some people I don't care whether I get the reward or not. I'm just going to go ahead and be blunt and not worry about it. And I'm going to be honest. That's just the way I treat humanity. But most of the time, I'm good to people. I don't bother anybody. Unless they bother me. Then when they cross the line and they bother me, it's on like Donkey Kong. And I know I could take the high road, and I don't always do that. Especially since I went mean when I was a kid. I can't never say I was 100% good, but I mean, because we're never good as kids. Kids are never good. That's the biggest lie that man ever told, is when they say the kids are good. Kids are learning. And if you don't steer them kids right, they can be bad. You have to steer your kids bad. You have to discipline them. Like my mother one time, we was acting up in the restaurant. And I'm telling you, my little self, I went home, I was mad. I pouted up. I think I might even cried a little bit because she made us go home. We was at Arby's. And me and my sister, we were playing table. We were jumping from table to table. And my mother said, this lady in here is going to have to clean them tables. Y'all need to stop. And well, we just didn't stop. We just kept going. She said, you better stop. I'm waiting on the food to cook. I'm going to take you home if you don't stop. Well, we didn't stop. Well, finally, she told the lady, she said, my kids are acting up. She said, when you get that maid, bag it for home. We're going home. We was going to eat in the restaurant. We was going to spend the Sunday evening in the restaurant. But since my kids are acting up, I'm going to take them home. I didn't want to go back home. So I pouted up. I moaned at home. And I think even I cried. But you know what? There was years and years and years later, like 1991, we went to a McDonald's while traveling to Florida. And there's these little brats, and they was doing similar to what we was doing, but they was even worse. I mean, they even jumped at our freaking table one time. We had an extra chair. One of them jumped over there. And finally I yelled out, Mama, you remember that day you got on to us all those years ago? I'm glad you done this. I cannot stand putting up with these damn brats. I was a teenager, you know. And she laughed and I laughed. I said, Mama, I'm glad. It crossed my mind. Mama, I'm glad you disciplined me. At the time, I hated it. But later on, I was very, very glad my mother disciplined me. That's the way she always was. She did not let us act up in public. If we started acting up, we went home. She took us home. Now that was sometimes that wasn't a good thing. Because I learned if I wanted to go home, I knew the best way to get home. So I started acting up. That wasn't the best way. It was, but it wasn't, because when I learned what went on, if I wanted to go home, I just started acting up. I even started acting up in school when they would shoot my ideas. I mean, shoot me down from a question on stuff. Oh, they'd get hateful with me. So I just started acting up when I didn't like what they was talking about. And a lot of times I got sent to the hallways. And I'm going to probably get off here. I didn't end up doing nothing. I was thinking about doing some things. Other than just driving around talking. Not gaining anything out of the game. You know, that's sort of what this game is. It's kind of like a drive time for me. It's like a cyber drive time. Boy, I bet I'd do a lot of that. I'd be willing to bet if I drove, I'd probably be driving around. I'd probably have the recorder out in front of me. I wouldn't be looking at it. You'd have to be paying attention to what you're doing. I'd probably be sitting there just talking away, or parked somewhere on the side of the road. I'd probably be out in the car somewhere doing just like I'm doing right here, doing a podcast. That would probably be what I'd be doing, because I end up spending most of this game driving and talking. You know, like driving and crying, the band. They were from Georgia. I'd be driving and talking. Driving and talking, driving and talking, driving and... You'd have to watch what she's doing, though. Because you would, You'd mess... You'd like... You see me hitting those fences and stuff? You'd have to be really, really paying attention to your road. You... Oh, why, look at that. Why, look at what I've run into. With one finger, I say. Fuck that. Actually, I don't see it. Let's see if I can get it up. Am I getting it up? How do you fly? I don't want to crash. Don't want to crash it. No. I never can fly on. Oh boy, this is fun. I can't fly. I can't fly. Whoa, I got it! I got it up! I got her up! I eventually got her up! I finally got her up! I've been trying to do this since I've been playing this fucking game! I finally did it! Now we can fly and talk! Now we can fly and talk! I finally done it! I finally got her in the fucking air! Ain't that funny? I've been trying to get into planer and I crash them all the time. How do you get her to go flying? That's the bridge. Bom 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 bom. Well, you can tell by the way I lose my walk. I'm a woman's man. No time to talk. Yes, a crowd and the famous Robinson, blah 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 blah. I can't remember the words. And it's all right. It's okay. You can't live to see another day. We can try to understand. In your times I made a man. But you're a woman around, you're the one who's staying alive. Staying alive. Fear the city breaking and everybody shaking and we're staying alive. Staying alive. Yeah, 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 yeah. Staying alive. Staying alive. Yeah, 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 yeah. Staying alive. Yeah. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. I'm going nowhere. Somebody help me. Somebody help me. Stand alive. Boom, 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 boom. I'm going nowhere. Somebody help me. Somebody help me. I'm still alive. Oh boy, I've actually flew. Even if she crashes and blows to her death, just know I'm happy that I finally got in the cockpit. I ain't doing it right though. I'm going nowhere. Somebody help me. Somebody help me. I'm glad I come on this morning. I was thinking about just going to bed. I'm still alive. Boom, 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 boom. How did she get out of it? Oh boy! Oh Lord, I don't have a parachute, y'all. I don't have a parachute. I don't have a parachute. I don't have a parachute. I don't have the parachute, y'all. Oh Lord, let her hit the water. Please let her just hit the water. She died anyway. But I would have rather her hit the water than hit the land. I'm going nowhere. Somebody help me. Somebody help me. I'm still alive. Yeah. No, I'll take a swim before I get off. I'm pissing to get off, y'all. I had a good stream this morning. No complaining. Just having a discussion. Discussing when Mama disciplined us. You know, that's what's wrong with 99% of these people today. They didn't have no discipline. But on the grungers, I'm half and half with the grunge. I agree with some of the things they talked about, and I disagree with some of it. But I still like them enough to count them as influences. And I call myself Northwestern grunge. You know, we have pines up here too. Pines, trees. Our property had pines all over it. Before some of them got cut down or tore down by storms. I can still remember the sap all over everything. I'd get that stuff all over me as a kid, and I used to hate it. So I call myself Northwest grunge, Northwest Georgia grunge. With a little bit of conservative values and a little bit of liberal values. Of course, I know why he felt bad about it, and I'm talking about Kurt again. He felt bad about stuff, so he had acne and stuff. It'd break out all over his face. I had that bad when I was a kid. I kind of grew up, and I have it break out every once in a while. I gotta get off. I'll see y'all later. I'll probably start working on the song. You'll probably see less of me when I'm working on the songs. That's the way I was earlier. I want to try to get this thing done. I've already been working on this thing since 19 and 20. We're going into 20 fucking 3. I still ain't through with it. Of course, I was just about through. I mean, I had 6 or 7 songs recorded out of the 9 that I was planning. I've chopped one of them off. I mean, it's like it can come out. It'll come out on another collection. And I know 8 ain't the traditional today. Usually it's 13 or more. But they consider 8 an EB, but I'm going to consider it my album. You see, I don't have to live by their rules. I can make my own rules. And 8's a good number anyway. 8 means infinity. 8 means eternity. It's a good frickin' number. It means eternity. So we're going to have 8 tracks. And I think I'm at the, is that the prison or is that the airport? I'll see y'all later. I'm just going to have to leave. You know, that's the one good thing about doing stuff yourself. You don't have to live by nobody's rules. You can make your own fucking rules. When you're your own fucking rock star, you can make your own fucking rules. In other words, you don't got a publicist. You don't got a record company. You don't got all that telling you what to do, telling you what to wear, telling you what... Sometimes you might need somebody to tell you what you say. Oh, how many times have I inserted my foot in my mouth? But boy, it's good to be free. Even if I stick my foot in my mouth, I'm free to get it out of my mouth. I'll see y'all next time. I'm free to get it out of my mouth if I want to. Now the problem is once you make people mad at you, they tell them to never have anything to do with you again. That's fine. I guess that's fine. If they leave your life, you probably didn't need them anyway. That's probably the way to look at that. If they leave your life, you probably didn't need them anyway. I'll see you next time.